We're here with Kevin Huffman, Vice President of Teach for America, who was just on a panel with ITIF, the Race to Innovate. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
Kevin, education is an industry that's been incredibly slow to change. How does that translate to making sure our kids are exposed to the best and innovative technology?
Well, I think we're not doing a very good job of it in our public school system right now, and I think there are a couple of challenges. One is we're not doing enough to get to really encourage our strongest students to ultimately go into teaching and into the field of education. We need to do more to try to get to ensure that we're really getting the very best people to think about education as a career. And one way to do that is get them to think about the fact that you can be innovative and can touch the next generation of students through innovation. I think as long as people feel like that maybe isn't the case, and as long as we're not proactively going out and trying to build the talent pipeline that would bring the best people in, it's hard. So, I think if you look at the math and science scores internationally, you can see how far the U.S. is falling behind other countries, and which is clearly an indicator that we're not doing a sufficient job of exposing people to the kind of technologies that would help spur what we need to see.
Great. And finally, can you talk a little bit about how broadband is enhancing the education experience today?
Yeah. So again, I think it probably depends a fair amount on where you are. What I would say is it's not enhancing it enough, and the reason isn't because of access to broadband, though I do think that access to broadband is a key issue. But I think what we see is even places that have really strong access to broadband, it's not being utilized in instruction in a way that would completely change the way educational delivery happens. I mean, still today, I think you basically have teachers teaching to classrooms and students, and then technology in the corner and students going over to it and working on independent projects or when they're finished with their work. So, my kids have broadband access in their classroom, but it's not driving the instruction. It's more like in between instruction, they are able to go on the internet instead of going to the library and look something up. And so I think there's huge upside to allowing the use of broadband in the instruction itself to help create a different educational experience for kids.
Great. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.